Hey, it's Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. The talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com for more info. Email me at benji@alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcast because People of Distinction is a nationally and internationally syndicated show because of listeners like you. Our shows are available across all major podcast distributors as well as YouTube. And if you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. We appreciate the support. Continue to like and follow and sit back and strap in because on the line with us today, we have the impressive Beth Berger Caldwell. Now we're going to be discussing her amazing book, Our Many Adventures to Frog Island. 10 adventures in one book. Available for purchase through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and a whole host of other places. Simply type it into a Google search bar, and you're going to be greeted with all of them. And while you're at it, make sure to check her out on Facebook by searching Beth Berger Caldwell Authors Page, and you'll be there to greet her as well. So once again, that's Amazon, Barnes & Noble, but her Facebook page, Beth Berger Caldwell Authors Page. And I want to quickly point out the fact that Beth was brought to our network, People of Distinction, today by one of the best publishing firms in the business. People you already know, I'm talking about Studio of Books. So if you're a writer out there who have gone through their process and now you need help moving that book you just finished developing, well, you know what you got to do. Contact Studio of Books because this is exactly what they specialize in. And you're going to want to head on over to studioofbooks.com and gather all the ways that their fantastic team is going to help you do just that. And listen, it is an absolute pleasure to have Beth here on the line. Now, right there in the title, people, you got an idea of what we're doing today. All right, we're going to be traveling on some adventures to the magical place, Frog Island. This is going to be a fun, imaginative book for your children with some education sprinkled in between. All right. Beth is onto something special here because she recognized that we're no longer using our imaginations. Kids aren't being kids anymore. They're growing up so fast and they're being robbed of that innocence, of that childlike abandonment. This is something that as a parent, I thrive to continue to instill in my beautiful children. And I know you parents out there listening in, you're going to try to do the same. Well, this book is the precipice of helping you do just that. You're going to want to head on over and pick up your copies because Beth is onto something special. And by the time we've concluded, you're going to realize why I say that. So sit back, strap in, and let's go on an adventure. Beth, first and foremost, welcome to People of Distinction, and thank you very much for being a guest. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Benji, and thank you for having me on your show.
Of course.
This is a first for me.
Well, hopefully the first of many, Beth. All right, because we're looking forward to this discussion, and I think someone as imaginative as you got a lot of other books in store. All right. Now, we're going to discuss some of them here today with regards to this, but it is a true pleasure to have you here. Beth, first and foremost, start off by telling our listening audience a little bit more about yourself.
Well, writing was never a passion of mine growing up, but I always had imaginary play, with Barbie dolls or the Fisher-Price little people, always doing, whole books, or probably if you look at it now. And then when my son was little and we'd go someplace and he'd get restless in the car where we were, I just start making up these little stories on hey, let's say you go to the moon. What do you see? How would you get there? And things like that. And I have to give a lot of credit to my dad. He always taught me that if I could think of anything, I could do it. And so that kind of comes into play within the book, or I should say books. I've got 2 other I'm working on right now. Mm-hmm. And just, have fun with life. Enjoy it. You may have to grow old, but you don't have to grow up. And the one book, Going to Frog Island, turned into 10 stories is my dad also taught me that live every day as an adventure, whether it's a good adventure, like when he had his heart bypass, he still said it was a great adventure day, and, to going on a trip to amusement park, the beach, car races, or whatever you enjoy doing. Make it an adventure. Enjoy it.
I love that advice, Beth. And listen, your book is incredible, but that advice of just enjoying what you're doing, right? Embark upon that adventure. Embrace it. I think it's a great piece of advice for all of us out there, especially some of those adults listening in, because that's something that I think is lost, right? I think it's so common. And listen, for one reason or another, this is not the podcast for it, so we're not going to talk about it now. But for one reason or another, we're all so consumed by our day-to-day lives. We're stuck on that hamster wheel of life, running from one thing to the next. We don't really stop and allow that child within us to come out, right? To embody the full experience anymore. And you know what, Beth? I think that's sad. I don't agree with it.
I agree with you.
And I listen, I think my background is in filmmaking, and so I live in my imagination. This is something that I've always kind of thrived within. But I understand wholeheartedly the benefit of allowing your imagination to thrive and being in that moment, having that childlike naivete. This is something special here. Beth, multiple part question here for this next one. But let's cover inspiration. Now, inspiration can take many forms, right? Not only what inspired you to be a writer, what inspired this book, but talk to us about your inspiration here.
Well, it goes back to 2020. I call them my girls, Rana and Polli, are two of the main characters. They have a very, very famous, distant cousin that was introduced to the world in 2019. And then when 2020 came around, I adopted my girls, as people say, and I started writing little stories on Facebook, like 4 or 5 pictures. I was bored. I had a travel agency that I had for 20-some years. It was shut down during COVID. And people started enjoying the stories. And I'd put like 4 or 5 pictures with each story. And then I got thinking, well, my godkids are growing up in a world that doesn't have imagination.
Yeah.
Or the kids don't have that anymore because they're always on computers or video games or iPads. And so I started this out going, okay, they like frogs. We're going to go to Frog Island. And I said, I can't just go to Frog Island. They've got to meet different characters along the way to get there and get help and make new friends. They go from everybody from Donovan Dragon, named after my son, who helped them get the magic wands so they could talk to everybody in the hot and the cold weather, to mermaids, to a pirate, a little bit of everything. It just kept growing and growing. And there are some characters in the book of people that I love very much, including my grand godkids, since they were the inspiration. And like my dad and some people I love that have passed away, and just, gave them these characters, grabbing stuffed toys that I've collected over the 61 years of my life, and making them into characters. You have the lava field, which my brother and I had all the time, where you had to walk on the furniture so you won't get burned by the lava. And kids don't do that anymore, which I think is sad.
Well, listen, I'm right there with you. I believe it. Now, listen, Beth, we've already started to go into a description. Well, let's dive down this rabbit hole even further. Our many adventures to Frog Island, 10 adventures in one book. Tell us a little bit more about this fantastic novel.
Well, it's about, I think, close to 160 pages. There's different chapters. Pretty much each little adventure is a chapter, like when they go to the pillow cave where the dragon lives. And it's just made out of pillows stacked all over, and the magic wands are up there. And then they go to the next stop, which I think is Christmas Tree Island. And there's all these different little people they meet and everything. They're told to look for an orca whale named Orson. Sorry about the double letters there. And the older sisters, there's 2 older sisters and 2 younger sisters. 2 of the girls were friends of mine, but they moved. And, the older ones or the younger ones are going, we're bored. We're sitting in this boat. When are we going to get to the Orson Orca? And the older sister's going, Orson Orca is not a place. It's a person. And you know how big sisters are. They're going, don't you know that? And the little sisters say, yes, we do. Orcas are related to the dolphin family. They are not whales, going into everything like that. And then they see Orson, and he helps them get to the next person, and it just goes on like that. And they talk to one of the characters in the book is Harley, my tabby cat. He became a tigerfish because he looks like a tiger. And so he has a little part in there, and just, things came up. I'm going, I can put that in the book. It changed minutely as I did the pictures. I probably had like 6 or 7 rewrites on it, and I think I got everything in there. There's some of the places like Mermaid Island and the pirate. I'm going to go back with the 2 main characters from the first book and one other little boy that was adopted. And we're going to go visit Pirates Island and go get treasure and everything. And that leads to more adventures. And
yeah,
it's just where my mind takes me, which is scary at times.
Well, yeah, the mind can be a dangerous place. There, Beth. The mind can be a dangerous place. But here, there's nothing dangerous here. This is all fun. All right. People, remember, the book is called Our Many Adventures to Frog Island. It's written by Beth Berger Caldwell. You're going to want to head on over to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and a whole host of other places. While you're at it, check out our Facebook page, Beth Berger Caldwell Authors page, to gather more of what she has going on and even stay a part of the conversation. Beth, as we start to transition and we start to close out here, I love having my platform, People of Distinction. As an artist myself, I always look for ways to pay it forward whenever the opportunities present themselves, okay? And you've written this book. You are educating us with the importance of imagination, and we hope that there is a lot of other books on the horizon. But one thing is certain.
Yes.
You got this book written, and you went through the gauntlet of also getting it published. Well, you have wisdom to be able to share, and I want to pick your brain a little bit. Talk to us any advice that you can offer for new writers out there, someone just starting off on their journey. What would you tell them?
Well, find a publisher that you're very comfortable with. Even, their Dora at Studio Books has been wonderful. She's pulled me off the ceiling of panics going this, because I'm still in shock how well this book is being received and everything. And just, somebody that's going, okay, this is true. Here's a little pinch. You're not dreaming. And just being supportive, having people support you. Being, doing a subject you love. This started out, it was just going to be a book for my grand godkids. But one day when I was looking at the pictures, I'm going, there's something special here. And if I can make one person smile from reading this book, I did my job.
Right.
and it's kind of exploded.
Well,
which I'm still in shock with. Doris still has to pull me off the ceiling at times, but...
Well, listen, you may be in shock here, Beth, but I certainly am not, okay? I understand why this book is so well received because, again, like you mentioned, imagination is something in short supply right now. So there are people that are gravitating towards it because they recognize that this is something that is absent. And a book like this is going to help them reintroduce their adult self to that child within. Beth, as we close out of here, you've offered a lot of fantastic pieces of information. Is there anything else you'd like to let us know before we let you go?
Hopefully next summer I will have another book out, and then maybe even next year before Christmas I'll have a third book out. One's all written. The one with the pirates, have to include the boys. I just need to be able to get on the floor and get pictures. Because this isn't a normal children's book. No, there's no drawings in it. It's all photographs. And that takes me time to do.
Well, listen, while you're working on that, people, you have more than enough to keep you occupied, okay? Because this book is one you need to add to your shelf. One last time, we're here on the line with Beth Berger Caldwell. We discussed her amazing book, Our Many Adventures to Frog Island. 10 adventures in one book. Available through Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Check out her Facebook page, Beth Berger Caldwell Authors page, and just get lost in everything that she has to offer. And like she's mentioned, hopefully more on the horizon. So you're going to want to check back in frequently to get it the moment it becomes available. Beth, this has been a true pleasure, an absolute delight. Thank you once again for being a guest on People of Distinction.
You're welcome, Benji. Thank you for having me.